This is the first time I've ever seen an incident where a player literally ends their season and is coming off the field yelling yes, almost looking like he's celebrating it. And I'll tell you what, considering a 72 million guaranteed, you feel sorry for Tyreek Hill's health, but financially he's gonna be just fine. So he definitely sees the Miami Dolphins this season aren't gonna win anything more than 6 games. Now he's injured. They might get the first overall pick the way it's looking. And my take here is he is tired of Tua Tagovailoa, man. And I would too. And I think Tua is tired of this too. Because honestly, this guy, it's the worst case of CT I've ever seen, man. I'm going to be honest because this guy has had 4 concussions. He's had one of the worst hits in NFL history besides Damar Hamlin's, because obviously he basically almost died or got as close to dying on that NFL field that you really can. It doesn't get any closer than that. But Tyreek Hill in the hospital after his leg is snapped in half. Tua says all glory belongs to God for keeping us safe for the most part. Read the room. But keep in mind, he's gone through so many concussions that he can't even talk straight. I'm telling you right now, he doesn't even know what he's saying. His case is going on the level of Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown had a whole SWAT team around his, house. That's how bad a CTE was. He had Vontaze Perfect, send him to another dimension. Now, Tua got sent by the same team to another dimension, and now he's back and he's not the same. How are you going to say this after your teammate? The guy who's backed you. He even said you're better than Patrick Mahomes at one point on accuracy. That was absolutely foolish. And he looks absolutely ridiculous for saying that. Because Patrick Mahomes is a Super Bowl winning MVP and everything. Tua Tagovailoa, nothing, man. And I'm telling you, he embarrassed himself after post-game conferences on the field. Off the field, he said, Tua Tagovailoa on losing Tyreek Hill but winning the game. He said, obviously, when you win, that's in a way one of the best deodorants for what you could be going through. What is he talking about? I'm telling you, this CTE is absolutely diabolical. So for one, he doesn't know what he's saying when he's addressing players who just, he just lost for the whole season, snapped his leg in half. He called him a deodorant. Tyreek Hill was called a deodorant by Tua Tagovailoa. What? You can't make it up. And if you don't think it gets any worse, he forgot Cam Newton was an NFL MVP in 2015, was 15-1 and took his team to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl. Said, I want to see anybody on the street come play QB. Cam Newton is doing this media thing, but it's easier to be able to hold the clicker and talk about it. To 2015 MVP Cam Newton. How do you forget the year of 2015? You know what, Tua as well. You honestly have been more successful in college, mostly on that game that you came in and subbed out Jalen Hurts. But Cam Newton was literally a Heisman winner. A Heisman winner. I'm telling you right now, I went through this in another video if you want to see a more in-depth analysis between Tua and Cam Newton's thing. But at the end of the day, if you just substituted, every year from Cam Newton and just stuck on 2015, that year alone will eclipse Tua Tagovailoa's career. But Tua definitely needs to retire, though. This is my take on this because the CTE has gotten so bad. I'm telling you, he's forgetting about 2015. He's having all these, problems with the media. He can't answer questions. He's just very, very, very vulnerable to getting these hits. He's injury prone and whatnot. He's fragile. He's fragile. And you don't want your NFL career to affect the rest of your life. I understand there's big money, but you have guaranteed money. The best thing for Tua Tagovailoa to do, and for the Dolphins as well, it's a mutual agreement, is for him to retire, take the guaranteed money, and just live your life, my man, because at the end of the day, you are struggling mentally. 100%. I'm telling you this as, somebody that does not want to see Tua have a bad life, because you don't, typically these careers last less than 10 years on average. You don't want, let's say hypothetically, 9 years of your NFL career to ruin the 40 and 50 years you have after your NFL career. And the more times you go out there to compete, yes, so salute to you for competing at this physical sport, but you're just putting yourself in a position where you're going to get hit and hit and hit, because there's NFL quarterbacks that have played way longer than you, like Matthew Stafford, and aren't doing the foolish things you're doing. And it might not be your fault. It might generally be your concussions that you've had. But you have had way more concussions than Matthew Stafford, Baker Mayfield, all these other quarterbacks that have more years in the league than you. So it gets to a point where you actually have to think about the future. You've been handed a huge contract with huge guarantees. Take the guarantees. In the end of the day, the Dolphins aren't even going to be competing in the playoffs or even in the playoff hunt or even in a 500 hunt this season because you lost your best player. Your quarterback's having an absolute meltdown every time he gets asked a question in the pressers. It's wrap up the season. Save your life, because you've already came close to many close calls with these hits you're taking. And it's not like you have a great O-line either. You need the Eagles O-line to be able to withstand all this pressure and all this, physical abuse you're getting. I feel sorry for him at this point, because I don't think Tua truly thinks Tyreek Hill is a deodorant. I think it's genuinely his head not being able to comprehend what's going on, and he's doing his best ability to kind of like respond. And it just came out super awful. And at this point, I'm telling you, just wrap it up. If I'm the Dolphins, literally have a meeting with Tua. Be like, would you be open to retirement? We're going to give you your guaranteed money. Everything else, no. But the guaranteed money is definitely yours. It's quite a lot. And then the Dolphins can obviously move on to the future with a different quarterback. You're going to have a top 3 pick. I guarantee you that. Yeah, it's not looking good there. But anyways, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Do you think Tua should retire? But anyways, thank you guys for watching.